Welcome to the Freedom CEO podcast. It's about becoming the chief decision maker over your life in order to step into a life of freedom. From business, health, wealth, charity, and giving back to just doing life on your own terms. I am your host, Shae Invidiata. I am an award-winning activist, change maker, and a multifaceted impact entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in business, philanthropy, and health and wellness. In this space, I'm going to be bringing you insights, not just from me, but from incredible thought leaders around the globe to help you start making decisions towards living a life of freedom so you can live a life you love. Are you ready, guys? Because we are going all in. Hi, my friend, Shae Invidiata here, host of the Freedom CEO podcast. And I am bringing you a high value midweek little episode from an Instagram live that I did in New York City. And it was so good that I said, I need to just turn this into an episode for you. So tune in. Let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button, and I would love for you to leave your feedback and a review in the comments. I greatly appreciate it, and I always love hearing from you. Hey, everyone. Coming to you live from New York City. I feel like I should have a microphone and be like on stage or something, throwing down a little comedy or something, but I don't have a mic like that, but I am live in New York. I am in Manhattan at the Inman Real Estate Conference. And for those of you friends, clients who are not in real estate, you don't know what Inman is. And it is a very high level real estate conference, one of the, I would say like better ones to attend. And so today has been jam-packed, filled around technology and amazing insights on the industry. And so I actually wrote down just like two quick takeaways. I'm coming on today to talk to Alysha, who I cannot wait to introduce you to. And we are bringing her in to the Invidiata team to our kickoff on Friday. And so I wanted you guys to also meet her because I'm a really big fan of coaching and leveling up and personal development. And since she's coming in to speak to us, I thought it would be great to bring her on. And so I wanted to just share this really with you super quick. So one of the biggest takeaways from today was around transformation and transforming the way that you work. And that no matter what you did last year, you are going to most likely need to evolve and level up what you are doing because it probably isn't going to work as well in 2024. The way things are rapidly changing in business, in the industry, through technology and AI. And so you might be a titan in whatever industry you're in. And I encourage you to not let that fog you or have an ego around that you know it all, but being really open to how can I be improving my systems? What is changing in technology that I haven't adopted into my business? And so that was like one of the thoughts. And then here was another crazy one around social media. The big social media shift is really this lack of trust that's happening online. And we are needing really to make those human connections. And so as much as we are crazily connected in the world through social media and technology, we also live in probably the most disconnected time. So when you show up online, who is your audience that you're trying to connect with? Who are your people and how are you serving them? And making sure you're bringing in that human element where you're providing value, you're offering solutions. And so that's what I want to do for you right now. I'm going to bring on Alysha. She's waiting and I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. Hello.
Hello, Shae. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here today and even more excited to be speaking with you on Friday. And I just love what you just started because absolutely, this is exactly what we need starting out this year is just to dive into that mindset. We need some change. Change needs to happen. I love this.
Yes. Give me 1 second because my camera, you know, you add on a person and I thought I had it all right and now I don't have it right. And now I'm trying to fiddle with my camera. Sorry, guys. This is where you're like, love the technology. When it works, it works. And when it does not, hello. So, Alysha, while I'm fiddling, why don't you just share with everybody, who are you? I see the lovely Kathleen Black has also just joined. Hey, Kathleen, thanks for tuning in. But just take a moment. Who are you? What are you doing? And then we'll dive in a little more.
Absolutely. So I'm a licensed agent. I run the Alysha Mclean team, but more importantly, my love and passion lies with coaching. I've been an elite coach with Kathleen Black for about 3 years now. I've dove into all of Kathleen's systems for many, many years, probably close to a decade now. And I loved the messaging. It wasn't salesy. It was all about consultant. And that's a huge point of difference right now. We have a lot of salesy people out there, but really, even what you were saying at the beginning of this call, it's about that shift, that mindset, and that consultant. We need to really support each other and one another. And so that's what I've been really kind of leaning into the last little while, is really working with a lot of great agents and teams, on top of working closely with Kathleen, all about the mindset and how do we shift and how do we level up. It's kind of, as we move through this industry, you know, some things have to change as we're coming out of pandemic. We're getting back into, you know, meeting people live and in person again, kind of disconnecting a little bit from that everyday digital. So what are we doing to really get everybody pumped up, get everybody to level up, and really embrace this year with some new insights?
Totally. Well, and I think, you know, one of the hardest things to do is to change. Most people don't like change, right? I think once you've been in the personal development gig for a while, it becomes the opposite, you know, because you know what's waiting for you on the other side if you go through and you do this work, right? And to stay where you are, to stay stagnant with no movement, kind of like if you think about water, right? Like if water's not circulating, if it's not moving, eventually it becomes stinky and stale and gross. And so that's maybe an extreme metaphor for what we're talking about today, but it kind of is the same thing. And I think sometimes the longer that you've been in business, and we can even talk about the Invidiata team, right? Like next year will be 40 years in the industry. So we're 39 years this year. And I think it's really easy for team leaders or established brands to believe that because they've been around for so long, that they're going to remain the leader, they're going to remain the titan, they're going to remain the industry leader. And as long as you're willing to say, we used to be able to do this very, very well, but things are changing and I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to course correct, I'm willing to evolve, then of course you can remain an industry leader. And so for myself, that's part of why I'm at Inman here in New York this week, for those things around AI that even me as a younger person, I'm like, oh my God, my brain, there's so much going on, you know? And yet at the same time too, recognizing human connection is still so important. And we've got to be able to like merge those two together. So Alysha's coming into my team on Friday. We're doing our team kickoff. So she's coming in to speak to everybody. And this is the beginning of the year. And this is part of what we do at Invidiata, is we set the tone for the year. We pick a word. And if some of you guys, actually, I dropped my podcast episode today that is a lot around this topic. So if you love what Alysha and I are speaking about today, I encourage you to go listen to that episode, because it really takes this concept around mindset and creating an anchor word that sets the tone for the rest of the year. And then it brings you back into focus if you go off track to what it is you're trying to accomplish and achieve for the year. So with Invidiata this year, our word is evolve. And I wanted to talk a bit about mindset with you today, because I think everybody can relate to that. And one of the biggest questions people always have in entrepreneurship is, you know, what is the secret to success? What is the secret to growing my business? What is the secret to 10xing my business? And maybe it's not just your business. It could be your health. It could be your family. And you and many different coaches would say that it starts with mindset. So walk us through that. Why is that? Power of the mind. I bring it over to you. Take it away.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And that's the biggest piece, mindset. Whether you can or you can't, you're right.
Totally.
And I think that that's really what kind of drives this. I find with everything that has been changing and evolving, we have the choice. and it is our choice. And what I love what you said too is when we anchor this to our goals, you know, each year we come in, and I love January for that because it's a fresh new year. It's like, what does this year, what do we want for this? And when we anchor into our goal, and a realistic goal, let's talk about that too. Yeah. Let's put some smartness around those goals. And once we anchor that, then it's unstoppable. And what I find is so interesting is that you tend to get the sound bites of other people who maybe are not as successful. And what do? We lean into their insights, and we're like, why? I don't want you to be listening to these people that are not successful. Of course, they're going to keep you down. Yeah. And so when we lean into that mindset and we really have that I am capable, I can do anything that I put my mind to, that really starts to drive people forward. And when we kick things off at the beginning of a year, this is where it's like, where did you want to get your goals anchored to? And now let's craft that, and let's encourage you and support you and level you up this year, because I think that that mindset is so key. And this is where we really need to say that I can do it. Let's go. It's a new year. Let's go.
Totally. Okay, break it down for me, because you just threw out there SMART goals. And some people, you know, I think like they hear things like that and really just ask the question, like, what the heck is a SMART goal anyway? So I love getting really 101 and maybe what feels like, and I always say this too, guys, you can use this, my friends. I always say there's no such thing as stupid questions, only stupid answers. So really the pressure right now is on Alysha. But I say that to people because I'm like, if you're thinking it, so many people are also probably thinking it or have thought that or asked that once upon a time, right? Because we all had to start somewhere and we're at different points of our journey. So in your words, like, how do you describe what is a SMART goal?
Yeah, let me break it down because I get passionate. You'll start to find this. The passion comes out. So SMART is an acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And one of the biggest things that I see, especially coming into a beginning of the year, it's like, I'd like all my goals to start January 1st. I'd like them all to complete December 31st. And I have some random vagueness. You know, I'd like to do more business. Yeah, we'd all like to do more business. And if I got you one more deal, would that be enough? And that's where we find out, oh, well, no, that's not what I was actually meaning. And this is where, when I look at goals and goal setting, where do we anchor to? What is our metric? How do we measure how far we've progressed with this? And that's where SMART goals come into play. And it doesn't need to be a grandiose, huge, big goal. It could be something as simple as, I'm going to go for a 20-minute walk every day. 20-minute walk. Okay, did we do it? Yes or no? It might be, hey, I want to tap into my real estate business and I want to embrace social media, and maybe I want to get 5 new followers each week. Okay, or each day. Now there's something that we can attach a metric to. It is SMART because it's specific. I want to gain 5 new followers each day. So it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and the timeline is in place. And that's when I look at goal setting to anchor to the SMART goal, just creates more of an environment for us to hit those goals. Otherwise, it's too loosey-goosey. And I always say, you know, somebody always said to me, oh, I want a whole lot more money. I want to make more money this year, Alysha. Absolutely. I can attest to that. And yet they come in and they find, you know, a roll of quarters. And I say, well, you asked for more money this year. Is that what you were looking for? So when we get very specific and all of a sudden we're like, I'd like to make 250,000. I'd like to, you know, do this much in GCI. Now we're getting clarity. So we're removing the vagueness and honing into clarity, which I absolutely love, which brings us into focus as well.
So thank you for breaking that down. Like I said, I think it's really, some people hear like these words and they're like, I don't know what a SMART goal is. And now I feel dumb. Is there a dumb goal? You know? So I think it's important to really break it down. So I want to get more practical too, because again, we hear oftentimes like different coaches, you talk about mindset and shift work and limiting beliefs. And these all sound really, really great. But there's practicality around how do you change your mindset? How do you strengthen your mindset? And so walk us through some of that. Let's say I have a goal to maybe increase my transaction count by 25% in the year, or, you know, we could go 50% even. Hey, you write down your goals, they're measurable, everything you just kind of walked us through. And still at the end of the year, you can come out and go, I I put in my effort and I really tried, but sometimes you don't accomplish that. And a lot of it is attached to your belief system that whatever you think about and whatever you focus on expands, and what you focus on, right, you attract. And so it's really important that we are guarding our thoughts, because ultimately that will determine how we feel, and how we feel will also determine what actions we're going to take, which then yields our results. So if you're tuning in and listening to this right now, what are some practices that we could do daily to really reset our mindset and strengthen, so that we're actually going to work towards bringing in our goals and accomplishing those?
Yeah, I think some of that, what we want to look for too, right, is have we broken down our goals into bite-sized, actionable spaces?
Yeah.
Meaning, hey, let's be honest. I'm sure many of your viewers right now, we get up in the morning, we open our eyes, and what do? Scroll. Yeah. Oh, the morning scroll. And yet there's some people disciplined to journal instead.
Yeah.
And so that's even like some of this first little steps of what do we do to change our behavior to then action different things. We have to make a shift. We have to change how we do things in order to grow and evolve.
Yeah. So, okay, I mean, those who've been hanging out with me on my platform for a while know that my routine in the morning is pretty bulletproof and is very guarded. I don't take meetings or phone calls till usually after 10 o'clock. Obviously, there's exceptions to every rule, but that's typically mine. And so much so, even I have certain measures. I don't know if people realize, but you can pause your email inbox so that even if you, I'm going to say, got weak and you picked up your phone, right? Like, you're not inundated with emails coming in because you've paused them from the night before, and you actually don't start receiving emails till 10 a.m. As a realtor, I know that might give some of us a heart attack, because you're like, holy crap, if I've got an offer that I'm working on, blah, blah, blah. But still, I will tell you, if it is super important, somebody will find a way to get a hold of you, is if there's an emergency. 1 hour that your inbox is still like paused, the house isn't going to burn down. People are not going to burn down. But it's really about the principle of guarding your time, right? Guarding your energy and doing what's important first, which is investing into yourself and your mindset. You know, whether it's the meditation, your gratitude practices, what you are journaling about, what you are calling in, moving your body, drinking your water, all of these things. So I'm like huge on like morning routine practices, and also then how you end your day too, because that's just equally as important, right? Like how you're shutting down your brain, how you are calming down to bring you into good sleep and just healthy patterns overall. So, so many awesome people are on here right now. Can I just like say that? Like, we have Kim that's like in Costa Rica. I have one of my very good girlfriends from Oakville that I went to high school with, who lives in California. Her husband is on here right now as well, which I'm like, I haven't seen them in forever. Kat's on here. Guys, I love how many like of my peeps are on here. And then we've got a bunch of really great realtors as well tuning in. So I just like love it. Alysha and I are catching up around evolving and leveling up in 2024. So bring it to us. What are some other things that we should be focusing on if we're wanting to move the needle in our business this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. Really, the first thing I look at is routine. What does your routine look like? Do you have one? Do we need to shake off the winter routine and jump into the new spring market routine? And it's okay too to shift, because our markets shift. So I think that's the first thing. What does our routine look like? Number two, I'd be like, what does our habits look like? Sometimes we've picked up some bad habits over the years. Hey, it's okay. It's a new year. What do those habits look like? Are they healthy habits? Are they going to contribute to our overall big goals? So those are the two first things that I would say. Mindset is always going to be in there, Shae, because that's such an integral piece of it. And it's something that we personally have so much control over. And even if it's just like connecting with somebody and having a conversation, what are your thoughts on this? It creates new perspectives for people, which creates a stronger mindset of you can do it. So those are the kind of the top three things that I would be looking for right now, but just really level up. This is the year to level up. This is the year to get back in front of people. You know, we've spent a lot of time being on the inside. Now it's time to get back out, shake things up, shake some hands, high five a few people, get back into it, because this is going to be the year where we have the opportunity to make a lot of shift and change.
Yeah. I love that. Well, and even as you're like saying, I'm like, gosh, I keep bringing me back to like the importance of honoring and being grateful for the current clients that you have, especially as agents, right? We're very quick to be like, where's our new lead coming from? Where's the next new? Meanwhile, we do have behind us, right, a book of business, most of us anyways, right, who have been in the industry for like three years or longer. You know, you have an established book of business. And it's really, really important to be going back into that group of people just to foster that relationship and the connection. Not because you are looking for another sale, but just if you are genuinely there to show up and serve, saying, like, how can I serve you this year? Maybe it's not you buying or selling a home, but is there something else around my area of expertise that I can do for you, your family, or your friends? Just wanted to check in. Things are kind of crazy with interest rates right now. How can I serve you in that way? Do you have questions? But just going back into your own book of business, into your database, really, really goes like a long way.
Shae, I have to echo that. Like that, actually, you fill my heart with that comment, because we always are looking for the next new thing, the new shiny object. But meanwhile, I was just talking about this today, actually, going back into your database and just making natural, authentic reconnections, right? Everybody's had a lot of going on over the last few years. This is the perfect time to say, hey, how are you? How are things? Oh, don't worry. I'm not trying to buy and sell right now. I'm just trying to say, hi, how are you? What can I do? Yeah. And over time, we kind of forget about that, right? We're always looking at that new shiny object. And that's really where that past client relationship is so important. Totally. And they like hearing from us too, right? Yeah. There was a really great connection we made a few years back. Let's bring that back into today, because you never know when all of a sudden things have shifted and all of a sudden now they're looking to refinance or make a move. So it's always good to like jump back into our database for sure.
And, you know, I think it's really important. We're always, it's easier to talk about positive and I'm going to say like happy things than bringing up areas of concern. Mm-hmm. And when times like this, where it's more of an uncertain market, you know, things, especially last year, typically have been harder for everybody, right? Like inflation is up, therefore cost of living is up, but wages aren't up. And so there's a lot of stress that's happened in different areas of people's lives, not just in the market overall. And to be able to actually go to your clients and say like, hey, I'm here. If you have concerns, if you have questions, if you want to talk to somebody about it, I'm happy to share with you what I think is going to be happening in the market, how you can still be okay in this market, you know, and just being there to reach out to your people. Again, if things, when they do, I shouldn't say if, but when they do start to, I'm going to say going back to a healthier market as we typically have known it, you're going to be top of mind. And this isn't just for realtors. This is like in general, right? Like business practices, entrepreneurship, like 101, you know, like be there for your clients in the good and also in the harder, right?
Absolutely. And think about too, our clients really like to support us.
Totally.
They had an amazing experience with us. They are our biggest cheerleaders. Yeah. And that's what I love even more. Yeah. They want to help support us, especially as we're starting to shift. Mm-hmm. And this is where we get creative too. We're not just about buying or selling, but how about investments? How about secondary properties? How about your kids? There's lots of conversations to be had that doesn't have to be, are you looking to buy or sell? It's just about reconnecting and feeling good about that connection.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, tell me anything else you want to share right now around evolving in 2024, any kind of takeaways that each of us we can be doing before we hop off, because I want to value your time. And this was calling it a power 20 chat. That's what I was calling it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think the biggest thing that I would leave most people with is it's within you. You are the controller of you. You are the one that creates your destiny, and it's by your design. You have the ability to live your authentic life. And this is what this year is all about, to evolve into who you really are. And let's empower you. Let's support you. Let's cheer you on, because I think this year is going to be another shifting year of evolving from who we were to who we are going to be, and continue to move in that direction. I would dig deep right now and listen to you. Listen to that gut inside your belly and listen. Just listen and be quiet long enough to do so.
I I love that. And it resonates on such a deep level. And I'll tell you, actually, this came up today as well in the conference, that part of the social media shift that we are going to be seeing in 2024 is those talking about the human connection that we just did, but also trust. And so when you're talking about going inwards and being authentic and being genuine, there's so many people online that, you know, you look online and you're like, everybody's saying the same freaking thing. Like, do you even know what you're talking about? And there's really this lack of trust. And so really finding your voice, finding what you're passionate about within your profession and how you show up authentically is going to be a real game changer for a lot of people in 2024. So everything I'm like echoing what you just said and tying it into like actually showing up so that people feel trusted by you with what you are sharing, right? And I love Peter actually just put in the comments, being accountable to your goals, 1000%. This is also part about being like measuring your goals. Certain goals should have timelines on them. Otherwise, someday is just an evolving door, in my opinion. You always want to make someday an actual date on the calendar. And if you don't hit your target, that's cool. Keep going, you know, make a new date and deadline. And I always say pivot and progress forward or fail forward. Like my favorite thing, you know, but being accountable, which also means tell somebody about your goals, right? You have a stronger chance of actually accomplishing your goals when you write them down, not typing them, write them down on paper. There is chemistry scientifically proven it's more effective when you write it down, but then saying it out loud and go and tell somebody about it. Sometimes that's kind of scary because you're professing it, you're putting it out into the world, into the universe, going, this is what I'm set out to do. And when you tell somebody that, God, the universe, the energy starts going, okay, we're going to conspire with you to make that happen. So yes, I love that, Peter. Thank you for saying that because it's very true. Alysha, I'm sure you have something that you could share on that too.
Oh my God, Shae, I feel like we could talk for the next 2 hours on all of this. My energy is literally bubbling up for this because I think that's exactly right. I love that you said you got to write it on paper. There is a hand-eye installation on your subconscious brain. I'm a master practitioner in NLP, so everything is about your subconscious, never your conscious brain. And so when we create those installations, I love that you even said say it out loud because that's your second installation and tell somebody. And I think sometimes we get nervous to tell other people because what if we don't succeed? Right. But I also look at your fail forward, and that's how great entrepreneurs are made. We fail often, but we get back up and we course correct and we keep going because when our vision and our dream is so powerful that the entire world needs to be part of it, there's nothing that's going to stop us, right? We just keep going. And that's the key part of it. And if you're finding that I don't feel the passion anymore, that's when you got to look deep inside too. It's like, what can we tweak? You know, what can we add so that you're working in your genius? You're happy, you're excited. There's energy because that energy is what we feed off of.
My God, you just said working in your genius. You are right. We could go, like, we literally could just keep going. But guys, we got to stop it there. Alysha, I'm going to have you back on and maybe we just do an episode on like working in your genius. Because again, I know people are going, what is my zone of genius? What is that? What does that even mean? That's a whole other thing, which we'll get to. We'll have you back on and we'll chat about that. I'm so excited to have you Friday for the Invidiata kickoff. That's going to be so great. I'm going to post this as well. So make sure if you are tuning in, give Alysha a follow, Kathleen Black Inc. a follow as well. And I'm going to tag you in this so you can easily find her. And I'm just so grateful for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shae. I'm so grateful too. This was super fun. I can't wait to see you on Friday and all the team. So excited for that.
Well, everybody, sending you so much love from New York. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, happy Tuesday. And we'll connect with you guys soon. Ciao for now. Thanks for tuning into the Freedom CEO podcast. If you got value out of today's show, I would love for you to leave a review as it will help my show reach other people as well. You know what to do. Download this episode, click the like and subscribe button. If you feel like spreading more love, hop over to Instagram and share today's show in your stories. Remember to tag Shae Invidiata and the Freedom CEO. My DMs are always open, so drop me a line. I'd love to connect. Until next time, keep owning your decisions to live a life of freedom. Live a life you love.